emerged as the station of choice for black audiences in the Los Angeles media market and beyond. The survey also revealed that the vast majority of black audiences are concerned about the lack of black-owned media and are more likely to listen to talk radio that focuses on issues that impact the black community. For some reason, the other talk stations haven't quite figured that out.
If you think about KFI, well, KFI only has like a 3% black listenership. 3%. So there's a good 97% out there to support a station like KBLA.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. Your black. Your black.
Yo, I come from a small city where nothing is handed. Took my talents and made them work for me, look where I landed. I know a lot of those out there really don't want me having it. They just mad that I'm creeping on them and they had advantages. See, when my voice is on, I let my voice be the change. Put it in these communities, let it give them some range. Let them know that they got a shot at anything they want. And it ain't all about the teaching, but really how they responded. And here on KBLA Talk 1580, we gon' get into it. The whole world on Smiley out of your media. The others tell it, but they truths have some limits. We got that food for soul, not what they feeding you. Black lives matter all the time. Yeah, let's talk about it. About the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, let's talk about it. Police brutality out of line. Yeah, let's talk about it. All these thoughts running through my mind. We gotta talk about it. I am unapologetically progressive in efforts to fight for the people. Gotta exercise our voting rights and then push the needle. I'm walking tall, cause I know that y'all expect me to lead. To push the message I am willing to bleed. I gotta get what I need. That's social reform, that's prison reform. I'm highly informed, don't put down a pen. I got a list, I can't resist. I preach it till I talk with a list. And who you know gon' give it to you like this? And here on KBLA Talk 1580, we gon' get into it. The whole world on Smiley out of your media. The others tell it, but they truths have some limits. We got that food for soul, not what they feeding you. Black lives matter all the time. Yeah, let's talk about it. About the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, let's talk about it. Police brutality out of line. Yeah, let's talk about it. All these thoughts running through my mind. We gotta talk about it.
Yeah, we back in the spot. What's up, YouTube? Huh? How y'all doing, huh? Andy back in the spot as well. Yeah, man. Let's talk about it. We got a lot to talk about right here. KBLA Talk 1580. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show, the whole 9 of the nighttime, right at 9, right out the gate. I want to give love to everybody that contributed to our month-long reparations conversation with Connie Collins, which officially concluded last night. It has been a long and occasionally arduous process, but I like to think that we all learned a little something from the experience. And I've got to keep it 100 up in here. I can honestly say that going into that series, I had an assortment of preconceived notions and a heaping helping of skepticism regarding whether this whole reparations movement was actually a real thing. But to Connie Collins' credit, she showed me, and I'm willing to bet a lot of you too, that we black people may actually be receiving what we are rightfully owed when all is said and done. Yeah, the conversation may have inadvertently ushered in new intercultural beefs between black people, peppered with claims of who actually is in ownership of black American people's identity. But at the end of the day, I say and will continue to say that I am rooting for everybody black. Don't get it twisted up in here. And I pray that if and when these still preliminary reparations materialize into the coffers of black communities all over this country, we as a whole will still be okay. That's my hope. That's my wish. That's my prayer. And now, as we temporarily shelve that subject for the time being, we now get an opportunity to discuss another one of my primary initiatives for 2023, one that I've been preaching about for years. You see, interlaced within the Danny Mo Show discourse over the last 4 weeks, conversations broke out over the phones and in studio about what steps really need to be taken in order for us all to reclaim our neighborhoods. Last night, a number of people, Connie included, checked my legitimate concerns over whether we black people would receive reparations checks worth an estimated hundreds of thousands of dollars and collectively choose to invest those dollars back into our communities. My dream would be for the bulk of our people to take that money. That is compensation for the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors that built this freaking country and reinvest it into our neighborhoods, because I need for our neighborhoods to be a sanctuary. I need for our neighborhoods to always have the right answers. And I need that segment of black people who may that have somehow lost their way to have somewhere familiar that will assist them in seeing brighter days. And one of the most important groups that I'm seeking solutions for is the currently and formerly incarcerated. Now, I need my listeners to listen up close and listen good, okay? Because tonight's topic means a lot to me. And I would appreciate each and everyone's participation in helping me formulate the right messaging for those that may be new to the game. Being in jail is tough. Yeah, I know that sounds like the most obvious understatement of the year, but I don't think many people realize how difficult it actually is to live a life behind bars. As you might recall, I've broken down the timeline multiple times on what happens the moment inmates finally find themselves released and free to work at reestablishing themselves as productive members of society. Yet due to the fact that the system is rigged against those who have served time behind bars, they often find themselves adding to the national recidivism rate of 50%. While according to CalMatters.org, as of 2020, about 46% of offenders released in California are reconvicted within 3 years of release, and even more are rearrested. But why? You're probably wondering. I'll tell you. Because if Terrence is released after serving hard time for a crime he committed when he was a youngster, perhaps got a bunch of tattoos all over his body while behind bars, developed a strong hatred for authority figures who literally and figuratively have been beating him up ever since he was an adolescent, was never given opportunities to learn a necessary skill or trade while he was incarcerated, never learned communication skills, job training, or interview etiquette either, and then shackled, so to speak, with felony charges on his or her permanent criminal record, which will poison each and every background check ran on them until the end of time. These are some of the main reasons why a lot of these kings and queens find themselves right back behind bars. As a matter of fact, check out this powerful breakdown from Jay Jordan. Jay is the CEO for the Alliance for Safety and Justice. He was just on The Problem with Jon Stewart recently and gave an emotional story on what problems many are faced with when trying to leave the past behind and put the pieces back together at home. Listen.
What does being in that system mean?
So in America, there are about 100 million people with a record. Like, let that sink in. 100 million people in America right now had some sort of arrest or conviction on their record. That's more than the entire population of Canada.
What?
They face what is called collateral consequences. These are social, civil, and economic sanctions that kick in after you serve your time. 70% are lifetime bans, and more than half are employment related. We're talking about banning people from entire sectors: insurance, real estate, education, healthcare, finance.
If you have a felony conviction, you are banned from healthcare and from real estate.
For life. For life. That's just the economic impacts, right? The social impacts are even worse. I have a record. 20 years ago, fresh out of high school, was involved with a robbery, right? Did 7 years, got out. It's been 11 years since I've been out.
Right.
My kids are 2 and 4.
Listen to this. Listen close to this.
It hits home. My kids are 2 and 4. And we got a schedule for summer school. And there were field trips on there. And they said, what parents want to chaperone the field trips? I can't chaperone his field trips. My wife is 46 years old, I'm 38. We want to have a girl, but it's a high-risk pregnancy. So I said, hey, let's figure out adoption. We can never adopt a kid. I love the fact that we live in a country where we talk about second chances and redemption and one nation under a God, but like, my soul can be redeemed, but that record stays there for life.
Whew. Man. Powerful, right? For life. And you wonder why a lot of these cats go back. Because the American government is always on the attack. But that's the hell that they go through post-release still. Being the executive director for a transitional facility back in the day, touring prisons all throughout California, and growing up in an impoverished neighborhood, I've heard a litany of terrifying stories of people that have lived lives behind bars. Stories involving brutal beatings, harassment, seclusion, threats, transfers, and in a few cases, sexual assaults. And I know, maybe a lot of you don't even care. Boo-hoo for the scourge of our society, right? Do the crime and you tried to do the time, right? You knew the job was dangerous when you took it, right? They need to feel the same pain as the families they impacted to land in that hellhole, right? I understand that a lot of you may take issue with me showing sympathy to a segment of the population that often inflicted pain on unsuspected victims in the past. You might accuse me of ignoring the wishes of the victims' families by becoming a tireless advocate for humane living conditions for the same people that refuse to treat their loved ones in a humane way. I get it. But if you're an avid listener to the Danny Mo Show, you already know how I get down. We can't sit here on this broadcast and regularly discuss the existence of the cradle-to-prison pipeline and the existence of systemic racism that has been reinforced by white supremacy since the feet of the first African slaves hit the shores of Virginia in 1619 without acknowledging that the system was built to incarcerate an entire segment of black people for life. But thank God we just so happen to have the best governor in the country, who just so happens to understand that the state of California is currently immersed within a perennial problem. Here's Governor Gavin Newsom, who was also on Jon Stewart, recorded live from San Quentin, being challenged over the lack of true rehabilitation and the plight of the people currently serving time. He appears to understand that the United States is still #1 in incarceration rates among industrialized countries, and it'll take more than a simple certificate to turn things around. Listen.
As I look in here, programs that are being created have a currency within this prison. But on the outside,
That's hard. Yeah.
that money doesn't mean anything.
And that's the problem.
Are we giving a false hope to a lot of the prisoners in here? Because a lot of what they say is, what was I doing in there? I was told the path to redemption is along this certification process. And then I got out, and this is meaningless. I'm considered a pariah, and I can't move on with my life.
I mean, the stigma is real, but I think the stigma and the internal shame and the internal stigma is even more pronounced. I think you heard from a young man in there, says, I could finally send, he's had his name in a byline of the newspaper, and he sent it to his mom. It's the first time he said his mom's ever been proud of him. That's a kid whose mind is stretched now. It's not about the certificate. It's not even about the program.
Not for him. I mean for the work. He's going to get out.
But what he gets out
Right.
is now all of a sudden he's found something he never thought he had, which is some self-respect, not just self-loathing. Thinks he might actually be worthy. And all of a sudden his mind has shifted. And I see people doing well on the outside across the spectrum. I just hired 2 folks up in Sacramento that are working in our office that spend time quite literally right here that are doing extraordinary work.
You're talking about changing this from a factory into something more human. But you can't treat them as humans when they live in this alien, dehumanizing factory environment.
Facts.
This system isn't built to cherish each individual and get them to see their own worth.
No.
This is built to keep them from killing each other while they're in here.
Correct. But as a society, you're right. We have to actually believe in the core tenets of what we practice in our faith.
Right.
And that's second damn chances and redemption and the ability to turn your life around.
Woo! The core tenets of what we practice. Our faith, second chances, redemption. Doesn't sound like America to me. That is your next president, 2028. Buckle up. In conclusion, we need prison reform immediately. Yeah, the majority of our prison population may have been convicted of committing crimes that some consider inhumane, but at the end of the day, he or she is still human. The sooner we all recognize that evidence-based rehabilitation of our inmates is financially, logistically, and ethically the right thing to do, the better off we will all be. Not everyone who commits a crime should be considered a lifetime criminal. We should be tough on crime, yet tougher on the causes of crime. And we can be tough on those who commit crimes and extend an olive branch to the non-violent offenders. We supposedly live in a nation of second chances. Let's prove it, America, shall we? But that's just me. Tell me what you think, LA. Where do you stand on prison reform? Many think that there needs to be immediate changes to the system. Others believe that if you do the crime, you should have to do the time. Some want more humane living conditions for the incarcerated. Others believe that the more brutal, the better. Especially if your family member was the victim. Where do you stand? Holla at your boy. Your voice is the change. Your voice is the community. Your voice is on. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. You can also stream us via the brand new KBLA streaming app on your app store, iOS or Android. It don't matter. That same app allows you to send me your questions and comments that I will answer live at different intervals throughout the broadcast. Plus, like, share, and follow your favorite radio station live on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KBLA 1580. Feel free to follow me at Danny Mo Show on those same platforms too, plus the Danny Mo Show as usual. We'll take your comments via the ecosystem of our social network. Check this out. When we come forward, I want to have another 7 series to add to the topic of conversation. Look, I've been to multiple prisons, but I've never been convicted and sentenced to prison, though. So it was imperative that I seek out a third party for some of the content tonight. And tonight's list is a product of The Clever. That's why my 7 series tonight is 7 of the worst things about being in prison. Listen up, kiddies. This list is not a comical list. It's not even tongue-in-cheek. This is real. And I'll give you the terrifying details on the other side. Add to the conversation with your phone calls when we come forward. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show on unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Let's ride. Come on.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles.
From middays to nighttime.
Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Nerds! Here at NerdWallet, we often see people wrestle with financial decisions.
Mike is in the ring, up against his nemesis, indecision. Mike can't decide the best way to save his money, and indecision has him boxed in. But wait, Mike tagged in NerdWallet!
Whew, let's go. With NerdWallet's side-by-side comparisons, you can find a high-yield savings account with interest rates that earn more bank for your buck. So the next time you wrestle with a financial decision, you'll come out on top. NerdWallet, the smartest decision for all your financial decisions.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, man. Broadcasting live from the Leimert Park, California. Streaming live on the KBLA YouTube page as we speak. I'm not here to tell you how to think, but I am here to tell you what to think about. We black in a spot. Another episode of the Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. Before I get going here, 2 things real quick here. First of all, the Lakers going to drive me to drink. I don't even drink, but, what are they down? 5, right? What am I drinking? If I was going to drink for the first time, what should I drink? If I take you to the bar, Andy, and I say, my first drink, what should I have? I don't want nothing that's going to have me throwing up all over the place. Give me something that's mild enough for my little punk stomach, but strong enough to give me a little buzz. What what should I drink?
My initial thought was gonna say some Malibu rum.
See, I don't know what that. Oh, rum. Okay.
It's light.
Okay.
It's more of a, and I mean no disrespect, Danny.
It sounds like that's what you're about to be. It's disrespectful.
It's more of a girly drink.
What are you trying?
But
you gonna put a little umbrella on it too? A little salt around the rim. Is that what you're gonna do?
But nah. Malibu, it's still tasty. It's just a little bit on the lighter side.
Okay.
Now, if you want to get something a little harsh,
I don't.
Well, very typical of us as black people. We love Hennessy. I think Hennessy would be good. I like Douce. I don't know if you're familiar with Douce.
I've heard of it. Yeah. I've heard horror stories of people, drinking Hennessy and crazy things happening in the process, though.
Crazy good things or crazy bad things?
Crazy bad things.
Those individuals don't know how to control themselves.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Long as you don't get behind the wheel of a car for people. I tell people, get as drunk as you want in the company of your own home. You can do whatever you want up in there. Don't take them keys, man.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm with you.
The second thing is, Anonymous called last night.
I heard.
Yeah, Anonymous was, trying to tee off on my boy, Andy, and I had to check him and just say, you got to leave my boy alone. He's not here.
You were talking about reparations yesterday,
We were talking about reparations, but you know what he called to talk about.
You talk about God.
He wants to talk about God. And I'm always down to talk about God. Yeah. That's my bag right there.
I heard he took a whole segment, too.
Took a whole segment.
Like he always does. What's new?
What he does is he talks and you answer what he said and then he comes with a counterpoint and then goes right back into the next point after that to extend the conversation. And we're talking about God. I want to be respectful of that. Anybody that wants to talk about the man upstairs, I'm in. But man, he was throwing shade at you though. Is all I'm saying.
Well, because he's banned. He brings nothing of substance to this station. He's called several shows on here. He's actually called other stations.
Wow.
Talking about how he couldn't get through over here.
Right.
And they shut him down over there, too.
Is he doing the same thing at other radio stations?
That's what I hear. That's word around the street.
What I said to him last night in a number of words, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly what I told him verbatim, but I basically said, why is he making it his life's mission to try to dismantle people's faith? I don't understand. I got friends around me, man, that are of different faiths. I got Muslim friends. I got Jewish friends. I got all around me. We don't believe in the same God per se. I don't care. I love them. So I don't know why I don't know if he's been slighted by some church in the past or he just wants somebody to give him some tangible proof to have a belief system of his own. If that's it, I wish he would just say that. Danny, I'm trying to believe because I want to believe there's something up there for me, but no one can give me anything that's proof.
Unfortunately, I don't think he's brave enough to show any vulnerability.
Ooh. Okay.
Facts. I mean, his name is Anonymous. He doesn't even want to, expose himself because he's this multi-platinum producer and he's worked with these multi-platinum music artists.
Yeah.
With some garbage music.
Come on now, come on.
I'm going in because he went in on me yesterday.
He did go in on you. I cannot deny.
So Anonymous, if you listening, don't even waste your time to call, bro.
Woo.
Straight up.
Woo.
Don't be disrespectful to me.
Woo.
Don't be disrespectful to Danny Mo or any other show on this radio station.
Woo.
Straight up.
Come on now.
Unless you reveal yourself. Scary cat.
Yeah, it is kind of tricky that you name yourself Anonymous. I mean, put your name on it. Come on.
Yeah, because he feels that, his perspective on life could cause him to be canceled. So he doesn't want to be canceled.
So he's in the industry is what he's claiming?
Apparently.
Well, there might be some truth to that.
I believe it.
If he's really in the industry and comes out with the train of thought that he was on last night, I think they would cancel him.
Yeah, but his whole approach is all wrong.
Agreed.
Just the way you broke it down, the way he could come, that'd be even better.
Yeah.
But
just say, Danny, I have had some pain in my life, man. And there have been times where I'm like, God, is somebody up there? Because I want to get on my knees and talk to God right now. I need him so badly right now. I just need someone to show me a path to there being a higher power up there. Well, somebody show me.
Yeah, he said he's agnostic. So I think there's a part of him that believes, but he doesn't, kind of like how I asked you, what I'm saying? What was your, how you ask people, what is your why moment? It's like, what was that moment that made you truly believe? And I think maybe he's seeking that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't. Where my mother and I start to separate as far as our belief systems are concerned. I told her the older that I've gotten, I think the trunk of the tree is God, but all them branches are the different religions that we all subscribe to. And she don't like that too much. Because hardcore Christians believe there is only one way to heaven, and that is through Jesus Christ our Lord.
The way, the life.
Period. So she don't agree with that. But the older I've gotten, I'm like, I think we're all going to get to them pearly gates if I go up. God would. Is this wood? And we're going to get up there, and God's going to be like a woman. You know what I'm saying?
There are people out there that have that belief.
We think that we know what we're going to go to. We don't know. All I know is what has worked for me for my entire life. And I got miracles. I told him that last night as well. I got miracles that have happened in my life that cannot be explained. Medically explained. Can't be. So say what you want. It's what works for me. And he was trying to push back against that.
Exactly. But he's not presenting anything of value himself. All you're doing is questioning and then challenging, but you're not bringing anything to the table for us to believe.
Well, he believes the burden of proof is on Christians to show him that Jesus is real.
Well, he needs to go to the church for that.
For by grace we are saved through faith, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. I mean, that's just how I don't force my belief systems on anybody, man. I don't. And all I can tell you guys is, you need to believe in something. You do. I ain't going to start preaching tonight because we talk about prison reform, and that could use some prayer too, by the way. But you guys have heard some of my stories I've told on this broadcast, and they are miracles. I just experienced one a month and a half ago. I have nothing but miracles in my life, and I honestly think, as twisted as this may sound, I think God tends to use me because he knows my test is going to be a testimony. He knows I'm going to bring it right to the microphone and continue to share with my followers and listeners that God is real. I like to think that I'm kind of a conduit from the man upstairs to continue to remind you guys that regardless of what you're going through right now, God is real. Because it's tough, I know. It's tough. Man, I got some friends out there that are really. I got a friend, just talked to last week, been with a man for 10 years or so. Divorce is imminent, right? Come to find out he was doing a little bit of dirt. No bad. You know what I'm saying? No bad.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I didn't say that it was a Caucasian woman. I'm just saying. But, she's also having problems. It's like God was supposed to protect my family and et cetera, et cetera. And you always preaching that God stuff. Where's God now? It's like, yeah. I went through that same thing when I got divorced, man. I went through the same thing. You go, let me get this straight. I take my family to church every Sunday. We pray together. We supposed to stay together. I ain't cheated. I ain't done nothing wrong. And my family still falls apart. God, this is all just hogwash, man. But that ain't how it works. That ain't how it works. When you are with someone, you better make sure you are equally yoked. Okay? You better be equally yoked. You better be into God as much as they are into God and vice versa. Or it doesn't work. Period. It doesn't work. So that's a whole different conversation. But I had to tell you about that. This little anonymous was breaking you down on the show yesterday. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, I got a 7 series. I will tell you some things. I got to get some things off my chest. You know what I'm saying? This is the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Stay there.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is ripping a Texas judge's controversial decision that would suspend the abortion pill mifepristone. On Tuesday, Biden called last week's ruling completely out of bounds. The Justice Department has since appealed the judge's decision. Meantime, the Pentagon is vowing to turn over every rock to find the source of a U.S. intelligence leak. A batch of what appears to be classified documents have recently leaked online. In New York City, the Manhattan District Attorney is filing a lawsuit to keep congressional Republicans from interfering in the office's criminal case against former President Trump. Manhattan DA and African-American Alvin Bragg filed a federal lawsuit against Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio, accusing Jordan of a transparent campaign to intimidate and attack his office over the prosecution of Trump. I'm Julius White on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
an accident attorney by your side. All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The accident guys can come to you almost anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
Access granted.
In a survey conducted by the public opinion research firm Eviderus, KBLA Talk 1580 consistently emerged as the station of choice for black audiences in the Los Angeles media market and beyond. The survey also revealed that the vast majority of black audiences are concerned about the lack of black-owned media and are more likely to listen to talk radio that focuses on issues that impact the black community. For some reason, the other talk stations haven't quite figured that out.
If you think about KFI, well, KFI only has like a 3% black listenership. 3%. So there's a good 97% out there to support a station like KBLA.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Lakers are tied 95-95 with 21 seconds
For a minute it was looking like I didn't know one of those guys. Looking for a special lady to save me, maybe I'll never be satisfied. Had a couple bad looks and a couple dimes. I'm looking for you. Why it's so hard to find? I thought I took one step, I took two back. I'm not even close this time, and that's a fact. All I know is that we'd be the perfect match. So where you at, love? I just gotta find you here. I wanna know your name, your name. Why you gotta be anonymous? I gotta know your name, your name. Why you gotta be anonymous? Baby, I want you so much. Wanna feel your touch. Come fast, girl, I'm in a rush. Why you gotta be anonymous? I wanna know, I gotta know your name. Why you gotta be anonymous?
You were checking out the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Wow. Heater. Wow. Crazy heater right there, man. I must admit, who is that? I have no idea who that is. I ain't gonna lie. Who is that?
That's Bobby V.
Ooh, man.
Produced by Timbo.
That is a heater, right? How old is that song? It's got to be early 2000s.
2007.
Yeah, because he came out early 2000s. So.
And you know who that song was dedicated to?
No, who?
Anonymous.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's why I played it.
I'm sorry.
I ain't got to be anonymous. I'm just trying to know your name. I ain't trying to get at you, though. Well, we just trying to figure out who you are, though.
Speaking of anonymous, somebody's on the phone wants to talk about that topic specifically. Let's go to Juliet. Juliet, give me your height, your color, and your hood. Juliet.
I'm from Los Angeles. I'm about 5'7".
L.A. checking in. Drop that. Come on, Andy. Let's go. Come on, let's go. What's on your mind tonight, Queen?
Yes, I listen to you guys every night. I just love it. I love it. What I just happen to hear you talk about anonymous, and I normally listen to the front page early in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Does he call Dominique as well?
I don't know if that's her name. I know they call her Don Day.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Don Day, and she's a female, so he would call her with the same issues, and I'm really believing that's why she's not there no more. You know, because that's kind of scary for a female. And he would call her all the time and pick with her.
Yeah, I think, I don't want to make this about him. I don't want to make the whole show about him. I just have a problem with anyone that feels that because they've gone through some pain and some scorn in their own personal lives, they feel they need to pass that on. I've given you guys some of the details of when I did work in a transitional facility, how some of the cats that used to come out of jail and used to tell me right to my face, I don't even care, man. Like, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know the pain that I've gone through. And I think there's a number of people out there that have gone through so much pain, they want to share that pain with other people. I don't know what he's gone through personally. It just saddens me that he feels I need to pass this pain on to others.
Yes.
So,
and it could be kind of scary, too, because for one thing, you don't know who this person is.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
he could be. Yeah.
If you're a young lady and you're
a female, I mean, I am a female.
Yeah, I'm like,
but it would scare me. Like, I wouldn't want to come out my house because is this person watching me? You know, it's kind of scary for a girl.
Yeah.
A lady.
A lady, a girl, all of the above. I'm totally with you. I just don't. I don't know why he would call me and try to do it with me. I definitely don't know why he would call a young lady and do it to a woman. I don't get it. But like I said, some people, I don't know what happened in his past. Maybe some church slighted him in some kind of way, and he's like, I'm going to tear down the tenets and the principles of the church because of what happened to me.
Some people do get angry with God, and that's a scary thing, you know, because he never told us the road would be easy, but he did tell us he'd give us a way of escape.
Come on.
You know, and he'd never leave us nor forsake us.
Come on.
So, yes. So especially if you're his child, His grace and mercy still abounds.
So let me ask you a question, because thank you for preaching the way that you are. Everybody's going through something right now. What keeps you on the right track and your eyes up as you go through just some peril in your life?
Just knowing that he got me. Just knowing that it's a God above, and he's watching over me, and he's with me each and every step. And this too shall pass. This too shall pass.
Wow.
The storm don't last always.
It is so great that we're having the conversation tonight on the incarcerated and also the formerly incarcerated, because I've always said there are two times when somebody that doesn't have a belief in God, they find that belief. One is when they're behind bars, all of a sudden, they'll find a little Jesus while they're up in there, or some belief. Or when somebody is on their deathbed. When your mama is on her deathbed and you ain't believed nothing for most of your adult life, I guarantee betcha. That's why they got churches in practically every hospital in this country. You will go in there and you will say, you know what, God, I don't even know if you're real or not, but you know what?
Yes.
I need you. I need you right now. So thank you for the phone call. Andy, we got to give her call of the night coming in preaching. We needed that tonight, man. Come on. Lord have mercy. Juliet, I appreciate you so much. Have a blessed one, okay?
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Love her. Wow. Let's go to Chicago because the Bears are about to win the Super Bowl this year. Chicago, give me your height, your color, and your hood, Justin.
I'm 6'1", I'm white, and I'm in Chicago right
now. Checking in. Drop that. Come on. Yeah. Don't be laughing at my prediction because them Bears, hey, listen, they're going to be the most improved team this season. Watch. Want to bet?
Hey, I don't know. I was a Raiders fan until they went to Vegas.
Oh, my God. Were you really? Hang up on this kid.
I don't know nothing about the Bears.
You're a Raider fan? How you going to be a Raider fan in Chicago? Come on, man.
I'm not a Raider because I'm from Orange County.
What is that?
I'm not from Orange County. I'm from Nebraska.
That's like being a black white supremacist, man. That's like the same thing. You know what? That don't make no sense.
Black white supremacist? How's that?
Shout out to Dave Chappelle. All right, go ahead. What's on your mind tonight?
I was just wondering, I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say, honestly.
I threw you off your game, huh?
Yeah, I lost my game. I got to get that up.
You were going to talk about prison reform, I believe.
Yeah, what? Because I know when I was in county, I've never been to prison, but I'm on the run right now from Orange County. And so I know that I got to go back to jail because I'm going to turn myself in.
Oh, wait. Real talk. You sure you want to put this on the mic?
Yeah.
You sure? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because it's important,
Yeah, don't cuss at all and don't give any specifics
no, not
here.
At all.
But tell me what happened. I got a couple minutes here. Tell me what happened.
So initially what happened was I was coming off of a binge. I wasn't coming off. I do drugs, so I was using drugs. But I came off, and I walked to the bank to go get my stimulus check. And the lady at the bank, I said, "Can I get my stimulus check?" And she said, "Your stimulus check is not in your account." And I said, "Oh, well, just give me whatever's on hand then." And then, I was aggro. I was pretty aggro, so it was a bad day. But I told her, "Give me whatever's on hand." Then she handed me a wad of money, so I walked out the bank.
She handed you a wad of money.
She handed me $500. So if you Google it, you'll see robber gets away $500. I threw the money back when the police were telling me to stop because it was annoying.
So isn't that entrapment or something? I mean, that's what it sounds like to me.
Well, I don't know because they charged me for the same event. I got charged with, and it was an accident. I didn't mean to rob the lady. But what happened was I got charged with 2 first-degree robbery, 2 second-degree robbery, and then a bunch of other stuff. And for one incident, well, what happened was when I finally got to the intersection, I put my hands on top of my head and I turned around.
Good.
And he sicked the dog on me, and I went down to pet the puppy, and the puppy bited me, and he was hungry, and I never saw that video, but I know it's there because there's body cam footage and there's intersection camera footage, and I got screwed. So
So what do you want? What do you want to talk about as far as prison reforms goes?
What do you think is the best way I can go about dealing with my time in
I
prison.
am not that dude. I'm not. I'm not legal representation. You got to call the law offices of Morrison and Morrison somewhere, but not this one. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But I am praying for you. We're talking about faith tonight. I'm praying for you. Okay, Justin. I just appreciate the phone call. Definitely call it from Chicago. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, brother.
Have a blessed one.
I needed to get that out. Thank you, bro.
I appreciate you. Wow. Look, like I said, regardless of what you're going through, and a lot of people are just going through random. You never thought you'd hear that story tonight, right? Like, everybody's going through something right now. And I saw a video on Instagram today. This cat was showing the comparisons between artists from a few years ago and what they are now, what they've morphed into. And they showed Madonna back in the day and Madonna all devilish now. And they showed Beyonce back in the day and Beyonce all devilish now. And they did Sam Smith and they did Lil Nas X on how they're all turning into the devil. And I go, something's happening right now. And as my mom say, this is the end of days, young man. At some point, I'm just like, something is up. That's why you better get right or get left. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we'll finally jump into this 7 series. And we've got a wonderful Pulse one-on-one interview at the top of the hour. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
LA Mayor Karen Bass and the city attorney announced Skid Row housing preservation and rehab initiative. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News. LA Mayor Karen Bass and City Attorney Heidi Feldstein Soto recently announced an initiative to preserve and rehabilitate 2,000 housing units in Skid Row. The announcement comes after the Skid Row Housing Trust's recent communication that it would no longer be able to operate the 29 buildings it runs across the city. So this new plan will turn the city's aging downtown real estate into housing for the homeless. In reference to this plan, the mayor says that failure is not an option. Losing nearly 2,000 units of housing would be devastating to Skid Row, and it would be felt citywide, and people would lose their lives. What do you think about this new plan? Let us know on all socials at KBLA 1580.
Hi, it's Lynn Richardson with the Millionaires Roundtable. Have you heard about Lendistry? Come on now. Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA. That's LENDISTRY.com/KBLA to learn more and get started with an application right on the website.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin Ultra Strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Lakers up 5 in overtime. 1:40 left. They might just pull this thing out, even though it shouldn't have been this close. We ain't gonna get into that. Let me read some YouTube comments real quick. Stacy Morgan said, "Hola, everybody." King Joseph said, "Peace, South Central LA is in a house." Fahima said, "Danny, neither hashtags ADOS nor FBA have a monopoly on the reparations discussions, which goes as far back as Callie, Guy House, and Queen Mother Moore. They are founders of the modern-day movement. Phenomenal Portia said, definitely needs to be immediate change. Excited for this show. Appreciate you. King Joseph said, it's good to see you back on YouTube Live, Danny Mo and Andy. We missed you yesterday. Yeah. Andy wasn't here manning the board, so we had somebody else in here who did a great job, by the way. But he can't do everything that Andy does. You know what I'm saying? Andy does it all. He gonna wash my car later. Fahima also said, Cuba Libre should be your first drink, but we all know you will never drink. What is that? You don't even know. She going old school. King Joseph said hello to everyone in the chat. He also said, Danny Mo, I agree. It's tough out here. There's nothing wrong with reminding people that God is real because humanity needs that spiritual understanding for earthly living. Real talk. And Zell said, your facial expressions be having me rolling. Is it that obvious on YouTube when, I gotta find a poker face when people are calling when I want to start busting up laughing. I gotta find some poker face.
You know what? I think it's a Scorpio thing.
Is it a Scorpio thing?
We wear our emotions on the sleeve.
There is no doubt about that.
Facts.
There's no doubt about that. I had to get a couple things off my chest, but I will hold that. Why? Because let's jump right to the 7 Series. Let's go. Come on.
One topic, 7 answers. It's time for the 7 Series on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
7 of the worst things about being in prison. You want to add to the discussion? You know how we put it down for the town. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. 7 of the worst things about being in prison. Number 1, the cramped living quarters. Do you like extremely damp and cold conditions? Or maybe you like it really hot with little to no air conditioning. If you fall into one of these categories, go out and rob a bank and secure this environment for yourself for the next 10 years or so. Most prisons are all about cost-effective practices, so saving money at every corner is expected. Air conditioning naturally falls into this money-saving practice, so it is usually only found in the main office areas where the non-prisoner employees spend their days. The same goes for heat. Winters and summers can be brutal in states that experience such weather extremes. Wow, real talk. Number 2, the lack of proper medications. Your medical history does not come with you when you arrive in prison. If you suffer from any ailments, prison is definitely not the place for you. Any serious health issues or ailments that require medication stronger than just an aspirin will be a problem. You will most certainly experience a care gap if you are on prescription meds. The prison doctor can prescribe emergency prescriptions like blood thinners or diabetic medications more quickly. If you have a legitimate prescription, the prison doctor still gets the final say as to what drugs you will receive. Hopefully, you will eventually get what you need, but you will suffer in the meantime. It takes time, but you have it. Here's number 3. The constant violence. Whenever you put a bunch of, his words not mine, criminals together in the same place, something is bound to go wrong at some point. It's inevitable that there are going to be disagreements, and in many instances, those disagreements turn violent. The various types of violence that can occur are forcible rape, theft, aggravated assault, manslaughter, and even murder. In many prisons, there is violence on a daily basis, and in some facilities, the guards even promote it among their inmates to entertain themselves. The guards aren't even needed to start up a fracas, though. Bored inmates who have a chip on their shoulder can start a fight over something as meaningless as toilet paper being put in the wrong place. Here's number 4. Anything can be used as a weapon. Spending any amount of time in prison requires you have to watch your back. Doesn't matter if you think everybody likes you, because there's always somebody who cannot stand you. Inmates are very ingenious when it comes to creating weapons out of the few things they actually get as part of their daily routine. A toothbrush can be filed down on concrete into a very sharp stabbing device known as a shank. Shanks can also be made from plastic silverware, items stolen from prison work areas, and even bed parts. They're pretty popular in facilities among the inmates because they are small and easily hidden. The damage they can do, though, can be deadly. Here's number 5. The mundane daily regimen. Prisoners' daily life or daily schedule has the most mundane and mind-dumbing activity list, but it is a necessary part of running the facility as smoothly as possible. Someone else arranges every aspect of your daily life the second you arrive. creating in a social sense zero autonomy. Every minute of your day is planned out for you, from the wake up and roll calls to the meals, telephone calls, and walks. Now, that doesn't mean you will have something scheduled every minute of the day. There might be several hours in a day with nothing to do, but that's only because that's the way the facility wants it to be. Here's number 6, the guards. You've seen all the movies where the guards in prison treat the prisoners like crap, right? For the most part, it's a pretty good depiction of how things are, but they have to be smart about it. Guards are normally outnumbered by quite a bit at any given time, so a guard that isn't at the very least respectful to inmates can have his life in danger at any given moment. That doesn't stop a lot of them from improper treatment of the inmates, though. Most guards do it simply because they can get away with it. And here's number 7. They breed more criminals. People who go to prison often do their time and just want to get out as quickly as possible. However, in a lot of cases, criminals can actually hone their craft or learn a new one while inside prison walls. The phrase, great minds think alike, is alive and well inside the prison, and there's always someone around willing to teach a new version of an old crime. Wow. Yeah. The reason I'm painting this picture tonight, because I want us all to get a true interpretation on what prison life is like. And I know that's tough to do on a microphone. I get it. And I've said multiple times already, I've never been. But the things that I've heard from people, the inhumane condition that they had to deal with the entire time that they were in there, it really bothers me. But there's a large segment of us, a lot of us listening right now, that could not care less how those cats are treated from behind bars. Why? Because they probably did something just egregious to somebody on the outside. And you go, I don't care if they got to chop blocks in there. I don't care if they starve them. I don't care if they beat them. They deserve it all. I got somebody in my DM saying, you would change your tune if that was your child that was killed by somebody. And I go, no, I wouldn't. I still wouldn't. God forbid that ever happens. But I cannot claim to have God in my life and want harm to come to anybody else. I can't. I can't. And I told you, I'm also done canceling people. I'm done throwing people under the bus. So I would never wish harm on anybody, especially African Americans. That's just not going to happen. So I would be one of those people. We've all seen those court cases, right, on TV. We've always seen those court cases. And that person who may have lost a loved one and the accused is right there in the courtroom with them. They go, I just want you to know, I forgive you. Because God tells me I'm that cat, I'm telling you. I would be that cat. Matter of fact, Andy, you saluting me, but you don't agree. And I'm saying this for personal experience. I told you guys I lost my sister a few months ago. Hit and run accident. We have no idea who did it. The cat hit my sister in the street, ran, gone, right? So I get questions all the time. Don't you want to find that cat? Don't you want to put hands on that cat? If you found out who it was, you telling me, Danny, you wouldn't rain down on that boy, man? I know you would. I said, no. Would I want justice to be done? Of course, man. Again, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. But if you guys honestly think that I would, some form of rogue justice and, rain down on these boys, go get my boys from the neighborhood and we rain, I'm not that dude. Because God expects better of me, man. And all that stuff comes back to you. All I can do is pray that things work out in the end. So, 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we have got a queen coming up here that knows all about what we've been talking about tonight as it pertains to prison reform. I cannot wait to introduce her to you all. In a few minutes here, Lisa Forbes inside my Post One-on-One Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Stay there.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is ripping a Texas judge's controversial department has since appealed the judge's decision. Meantime, the Pentagon is vowing to turn over every rock to find the source of a U.S. intelligence leak. A batch of what appears to be classified documents have